Hi, welcome. Thanks for watching and I appreciate you being here. Today's video is about applying for margin, more specifically for Merrill Lynch account holders. In this video, I'm going to go over what margin is, how margin works, the benefits and the risks of using margin, and finally, I'm going to go through the Merrill Lynch margin application process. And at the end, I'm going to give you some resources. Of course, the links are going to be included in the description box below. But first, here's a little bit about me. Hi, welcome to my channel. Thank you for watching. Here's a little bit about me. My household consists of myself, my husband, and my toddler. My mom also lives with us, but she's not included in our finances. We live in a high cost of living city in the Northeast. My husband and I both went to graduate school, but fortunately, we no longer have student loan debt. I work in banking and he works in aviation. I take care of the family's finances, and I love my role as the self-appointed CFO. I love to talk about all things money, whether it's investing, saving, or making money. I look forward to sharing a wealth building journey with you. I look forward to getting to know you, and I hope you enjoyed this video. A margin account is a brokerage account where the broker lends the investor the cash to invest. Here's how it works. The broker extends you a line of credit with some securities as collateral. The collateral requirements and the maintenance level do vary by broker, but they have to be within certain regulatory guidelines. More specifically, the regulators require that there's a minimum account balance of $2,000, that there's a borrowing limit of 50% of the purchase, and then there is a 25% maintenance level required that is ongoing. The broker can make those standards stricter, but they cannot make them looser. In the case of Merrill Lynch, the maintenance requirement for Merrill Lynch is actually 30%. You use credit to buy the securities, and the broker charges fees and interest on that extension of credit, but the full amount of cash is not required. You also have the option of withdrawing the funds if you have other needs. One of the benefits of using margin in order to invest is that it gives you more purchasing power when you're investing. But one of the biggest benefits you're going to have in using a margin account is that you have exponential returns on your cash if the returns exceed the cost of borrowing. Of course, because some brokers do allow you to withdraw the money for other purposes other than investing, you are able to get credit cheaper than you would for a credit card. Margin interest rates and fees are lower than that of a credit card because they do have a collateral, so they do not carry the same risk to the broker. It's also a way for you to get access to credit without an excellent credit score. But don't let the benefits fool you. There are certainly serious downsides to investing with margin. You can be subject to what is referred to as a margin call. A margin call is when a broker gives you a deadline to either bring the account back to the required levels, either by adding cash or more securities, or they're going to take action against you. And typically the kind of action that they take against you is not something that you want to be in a position to face. What they'll do is they will sell securities in your accounts, or they even have the right to take any other assets that you have at the institutions in order to meet their requirements. The deadline is very short. You only have a couple of days to meet the broker's requirement before they decide to take action. At Merrill Lynch, I believe the deadline is about 3 days. And you want to know the worst part of all of this? You don't get to decide which securities are sold. They will sell anything they want, anything that is to their advantage. I consider that to be a very bad downside. I'll give you an example. In my case, I bought Apple stock when it was like $40. Can you imagine how upsetting that would be if I was in a position where I was forced to sell it and I didn't even get a say? The capital gains taxes that I would be exposing myself to, that's not a good deal at all. You also have the potential to lose more than your initial investment. Unlike normal investing where your losses only stop at the amount that you put in, when you're borrowing money, you still have to pay back the money that you're owed. Not only are you out of your investment, you're also losing interest and fees that you still have to pay back. And do you remember one of the benefits? It's that you can have access to credit without having an excellent credit history. That benefit does not flow both ways. Just because they don't care about your credit when they're reviewing your margin application doesn't mean that they won't ruin your credit if you don't pay them back. If you do have good credit, but you find yourself in a position where you're unable to pay your loan, it could potentially negatively impact your credit. And that is not typically something that would happen if you were just trading within your means. Okay, so on to the margin application process. I am gonna go over it because I did apply for margin just for the sake of doing this video, I want to say that I have no intention of using it. According to everything that I've read on the Merrill Edge website, there is no term, there is no minimum draw requirement, and there's no minimum account balance requirement, meaning that I don't expect to be penalized just because I have a margin account that I don't use. It seems like it's just an open line of credit like you would have if you had a credit card and you just never used it. I applied simply because I wanted to document the process, because I did see that a lot of people showed interest to the previous Merrill Edge video that I made. The process took minutes and required only minimal information. Here it is. If you are enjoying this video so far, don't forget to hit the like button so the algorithm knows that it's good, and of course subscribe for more content. If you think any of the information that I provide here might be helpful to somebody else, be sure to share it with them. If you want to apply for margin on your Merrill Edge account, here's what you need to do. Obviously, you have to log into your account because that's where they have all of your information. You're going to hover over the Trade tab at the top left corner of the screen. You'll get a drop-down menu, and on the right of that, you will see something that says Trading Resources. Under Trading Resources, you're going to click on Apply for Margin. It's going to take you to a screen where you get a very brief summary of what margin is, and you're going to have the option of selecting an account for which to apply. Not all accounts are eligible. For example, retirement accounts are not. You also cannot select Agree or click on Proceed until you have launched your client agreement. Your client agreement is a multiple page document that gives you all of the benefits, the risks of using margin. It gives you a couple of examples, but it also goes over the fees and over the margin call requirements and what they're legally required to do, as well as what they're legally allowed to do. Once you get through that document, you're gonna go back to your main tab and you're gonna see a 3-part questionnaire. It is very short. Mainly, it asks for information on your income, the level of account activity that you are expecting to have, as well as your experience with trading and investing. It also asks about employment information, which includes the name of your organization, your title/position, as well as any relevant affiliation with any publicly traded company, whether you own a significant amount of stock or you are in a decision-making position. Once you submit your application, you can accept the terms and conditions. Once the application is submitted, you will see a message on the screen that will tell you that it's under review. There's also something that says that they'll notify you once the review is complete. I waited about a week and I didn't hear anything back. At some point, I almost forgot about it and I just assumed that they were being very slow because everybody talks about how there's a labor shortage and their people are working from home, so they're not at the same level of efficiency as they were before. But one day I logged into my account and it said that I had thousands in buying power when I knew that I only had like $20 in cash in that account. When I decided to look further, I saw that it was now classified as a margin account. I honestly cannot tell you how long the process took because I really spent that whole week waiting for an email that notified me that I got approved, but I never received that. Since I stumbled upon it by accident, it could have been that it was activated that day, but it's also possible that they approved it within 48 or 72 hours, but either way, I wouldn't know because I had not logged into my account. I also did it on a Saturday afternoon, which I'm sure also means that they had very few people actually looking at it at that time. But overall, it was an easy process, but you may not hear back. So if you're eager to get an answer, you might have to periodically look into your account and see if anything has changed about your status. Before I go, I want to remind you that it is very risky and many people do not use it for long-term investing. Rather, they use it for short-term trades. Like I said before, I have no plans on using it and I really only applied to demonstrate the process here. Here are some sources and additional information. If you want to read more about it, there's a Merrill Edge Margin Handbook as well as a Merrill Edge Margin Agreement. Both of these links will be included in the description box below. But before you leave, I want to hear from you. What are your thoughts on margin? Would you ever trade on margin? If so, does your broker offer it? If you don't think you would ever trade on margin, why not? Leave me a note in the comment section below and I look forward to hearing your responses, and I will see you in the next one. I would like to continue sharing my thoughts on all things money with you. So I would appreciate it if you could help out the channel by liking this video and sharing it with anyone you think might benefit from it. If you want to see more content, be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you can know when new videos come out. I'll see you in the next one.